Hello chess friends and welcome to your Zagreb chess channel and welcome to an amazing tournament that started today. Welcome to the SuperUnited Rapid and Blitz chess tournament that's going on now here in Croatia, in my country, in the big town of Zagreb. So I'm really glad again to follow the big sharks, the most powerful players, the top GMs playing here in my country, because we don't have so many big events here in Croatia for sure. We're basically waiting this event to happen. This is, I think, the most important event here in Croatia when it comes to chess. And the tempo of the Rapid and Blitz games is set up like this. First of all, we'll see a one round robin of 9 rounds of rapid chess. So the tempo of the rapid chess games is then 25 minutes plus 10 seconds increment per move. And then we'll see a double round robin of 18 rounds of Blitz chess, which is, I think, very a cool format. We'll see many games, many spectacular openings for sure, and I hope also we'll see many theoretical novelties, and that's exactly what happened here in this game that I wanted to show you from the round 2. We have here Vidit against Levon Aronian, in which Levon introduced to us here really spectacular, cool new ideas of the French defense. So let's dive now into the game. As I said, 25 minutes on the clock plus 10 seconds increment per move. Really, I would even dare to say so far the best game from the SuperUnited Rapid and Blitz chess tournament for sure. So with the white pieces here, Vidit opened with the move e4. We have e6 by 11, d4, d5 so far the French, and now after move e5 we have the advanced variation. Of course, Levon breaks now this pawn chain here around the square d4, so that's why Vidit protects it with the move c3. Levon continues to pressure here around the square d4, and after knight to f3, queen to b6, putting more pressure against the weak d4 pawn. We have now a3, a very important idea I would say here by Vidit, simply pushing the pawn here on b4, and in some lines maybe even kick away the queen from this active square on b6. So we have here a very interesting idea again by Levon, knight to h6. If you take, of course, with your bishop here, then it's not so good. Black has this intermediate attack, queen to b2 with an attack against the rook. Then you can maybe try this one, but then would simply pick up the piece, and this one is weak. Even if you try, I don't know, bishop to g7, still we can take. And then even if you play knight to d2, we'll still have this one to take. And I think here black is much better. The position is collapsing around the square d4. If you in any of these lines, I think, allow black to crack here around the square d4, if black manages somehow to destroy white's pawn structure around the square d4, I guarantee you white will lose the game. So that's why this line is not good. You cannot take here the knight on h6. So that's why b4 by Vidit. We have c takes d, and now knight to f5. Levon puts more pressure against this, again, weak pawn on d4. Vidit protects it, and now knight to e3, f takes e3, g6. The bad part here is, of course, that the light square bishop of blacks is not such a great piece. So black has the bishop pair, but it's not really the optimal bishop pair. The bishops are a little bit blocked out. Also after g6 and bishop to g7, this bishop doesn't have such a great activity because of this pawn chain here by white in the center of the board. So that's why after bishop to d3, Levon develops the bishop on a different diagonal, hits also the weak pawn on e3. We have queen to e2, and now comes a very interesting idea by Levon, f6, and this is actually a theoretical novelty, a move that has not been played so far in chess history. Very tense idea, temporarily sacrificing the pawn just in order again to break and enter here, maybe with the move e5, maybe with the move e4, but this is the way to go. We're trying here from black's perspective to put more pressure against this solid pawn structure that white built now in the beginning of the game. After e takes f6 castling, we have now b5, and now comes another spectacular idea here by Levon. In many of us would, I think, escape, would try to do something, but then you leave here the e5 square unprotected. Levon found here really an amazing and spectacular idea, a beautiful counter attack with the move e5. After b takes e6, now comes e4, and here I think Vidit didn't react maybe in the optimal way. Here, Vidit, I think, should have played here simply knight to e5. Knight to e5 is, I think, much more powerful than this move that Vidit played with the bishop to e4, because after knight to e5 that Vidit should have played, you're giving up this pawn, but you notice now, actually, this pawn cannot be taken because of queen to b2, then it gets very dangerous, but you don't have to take it. You just play here queen to f2, and now this pawn, I think, would will collapse in one moment for sure. You don't have to take it immediately. And after potential, I don't know, b takes c6, you have this one, f2, then after king to g7, castling, and after queen to d8, you have to protect now the f6 square if you don't want to get checkmated, of course. And then after knight to c6, queen to g5, I would say here, this is an equal game. Probably white will lose the pawn here on e3, but again, white can also retreat to e5, can maybe go for this pawn. Black has finally the bishop pair open, but I would say nothing romantic is going on here. Also, there's the problem here of this pawn. So this was Vidit, I think now Vidit's optimal continuation that he should have played. But instead of this move knight to e5, he played bishop to e4 immediately, and after d takes e4, knight to e5. Now it's a different story because now Levon can go for this pawn on e3. You see now, if the pawn would have been here on c6, like in the previous line, this would not be such a dangerous attack. And after queen to b3, here c takes b7, of course, played by Vidit Santosh-Gurati. But now notice that Levon Aronian's bishop comes out now with a beautiful tempo. Now this bishop finally can get into the game, can also be included into the attack through the square a6. F-file is open, it's almost here. Bishop is targeting this one, queen is targeting this one. So very, very tough now to the position here to defend for Vidit Santosh-Gurati. So he tried knight to g4, attacking the bishop. Bishop drops back to g5, still has a control of this f6 pawn. We have now knight to d2, hitting the queen, and now queen to e6. And this is now, again, perfect play by Levon Aronian. He, first of all, is attacking the knight on g4, but he's also preparing the move bishop to a6. Bishop to a6, very, very dangerous to handle. For instance, if you castle, then you lose the exchange. If you don't react, then this one is falling, then your king is stuck now in the center of the board. So many tough things that here Vidit Santosh-Gurati has to handle, and that's why he tried queen to c4. He's trying, of course, to simplify the game by training off the queens, which is a perfect idea, but Levon calculated everything in a good way, and from this point on, I think black is taking over. Bishop to d5, great move here by Levon and keeping the pieces on the board. We have queen to c7, threatening the checkmate. If you pick up the knight, of course, then it's checkmate on g7. We have bishop to h4, provocative move here again by Levon, delivering a check, forcing a new weakness in the position, g3. You see now there are several light square problems that Vidit Santosh-Gurati has to cover, and now finally bishop to f6. This intermediate attack against the king, I think, was very important, because it's a different story if white doesn't play the move g3 or if he does play the move g3. Now, as I said, there are several light square problems again in white's camp. So after knight to f6, we have rook to f6, and now rook to b1. And this was now Vidit's main mistake. If he would not have played this move, I think he still would have chances here in the game. A better choice was to simply go with queen to e5, trying to somehow trade off the queens again, and then after queen to c6, rook to f1, you have to compete. But then probably black would play this very, again, intense game. But after something like this, king to f2, I think, should solve many tactical problems in white's position. Still, I would say black is better. Here you cannot play e4. This is not working because of rook to e8, so then you get destroyed on the e file. So as I said, you play king to f2, and then after rook to e8, black is probably slightly better here, but nothing dramatic. I think white has also gained material. The position is blocked out here on the f file, so the king is, I would say, so far secured on this beautiful square. So this was Vidit's main chance, maybe to move queen to e5 to somehow simplify the game. But he played rook to b1. Seems tempting. He's maybe trying to deliver some checks, but now Levon is saying queen to a6 here. I'm getting here beautiful attack on light squares. And again, I don't know, after queen to c5 that here Vidit played, and bishop to e6 by Levon, again, maybe the best way is here for Vidit Santosh-Gurati to simplify the game, to somehow try to trade off more pieces, because after rook to f1, I don't know, knight to f1, rook to f8 can be played, but now you cover, maybe this one gets attacked, you have a check, and then for rook to f7, here rook to b8, king to g7. This was just the line that I'm showing you that's suggested by Stock, but then again, knight to d2, and I think, okay, maybe white can survive. Queen to a3, of course, is again a beautiful continuation for black, but instead, at least with the move rook to f1, you simplify the game at least a little bit. But what Vidit after bishop to e6 played, he played now the move d5, which is not working, which gives here Levon Aronian the great counterplay with the move rook to c8. The queen has to step back, and now after move bishop to g4, here in this particular position, Vidit Santos Gurati resigned. What's the issue? Of course, there is a huge checkmate threat here on e2. You can just prolong the game by maybe sacrificing something or playing knight to c4, I don't know, to cover, but then you lose the knight anyway, so it's game over here for white for sure. Fair resign here after bishop to g4 by Vidit Santos Gurati. So, great game, you see, rapid chess, theoretical novelty by Levon Aronian, almost a perfect game here that he played. I liked really the breakthrough. I did the counterplay with e5, e6, where he spiced up the game, where he managed to somehow liberate his light square bishop. You see the worst piece of Levon Aronian's in the beginning, the light square bishop, that's many times a bad piece in the French defense, became the best minor piece on the board. Very, very active, great play here by Levon Aronian. So, okay, Levon lost his first game, but won now the second game. Everything can change, of course, in 9 rounds of rapid chess. So far, we have seen great games, and of course, we'll cover many, many beautiful, spectacular matches of the SuperUnited Rapid and Blitz chess tournament that's going on now in Croatia. So, okay, I hope that you enjoyed this game. I enjoyed it a lot. Very, very interesting stuff of the French defense. If you want to see some other content here on my YouTube chess channel, check out our Come to Chess games, but also our Come to Chess games played by computers, where we analyze some beautiful AI chess games. And if you like this content, subscribe to my channel. See you soon with some more videos. And what do we say in the end? Chess is the best, of course.